Mary on Instagram, she says, I'm looking to lose 10 pounds over the next 60 days. What should I do to drop the weight? This is a great question. If I'm going to lose 10 pounds over the next 60 days, first thing I'm going to do is a blood sugar stabilizing nutrition plan. So I'm going to really prioritize protein, getting 30 to 50 grams of protein in each meal. I'm also going to eat healthy fats. I want to get 15 to 30 grams or so of healthy fats. It's going to be coming from high polyphenol extra virgin olive oil, avocados or avocado oil, grass-fed butter, coconut oil, grass-fed meats, pasture-raised eggs. That's really where I want to get my healthy fats from. So I'm going to take out things like nuts and seeds, actually. I'm not going to eat, or at least I'm going to reduce them. I'm not going to eat a whole lot of them. I'm going to really prioritize healthy meats, grass-fed, pasture-raised animal products. I'm also going to really prioritize, again, those healthy fats like I talked about, and then making sure that I'm consuming a lot of polyphenols, a lot of different colored fruits and vegetables. And I'm going to eat to my satiation point. And the good thing is when I'm eating a high protein diet like that, the protein naturally stimulates satiety. And that satiety is going to help you with fat burning. It's going to help you with lean body tissue development. So it's going to help preserve muscle and bone tissue. So I'm going to eat a diet like that. I'm going to eat 2 to 3 meals over roughly an 8-hour eating window. So I might eat my first meal at 10 a.m., another meal at like a smaller meal at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, somewhere in that range, and then dinner at, let's say 5:30. So I want to condense that eating window to roughly 8 hours and have a 16-hour fasting window overnight. So eating an earlier dinner is a really good idea if you're able to do that with your schedule, because that's great for your circadian rhythm. And then pushing back your breakfast to, let's say, again, like 10 a.m., so 10 to 6. So compressing that eating window like that gives your body time to undergo autophagy, deeper fat burning, to get insulin down. That's key. And then the blood sugar stabilizing diet, like I talked about, 30 to 50 grams of protein, some healthy fats in there, 15 to 30 grams of healthy fats, and then fill it up with, different phytonutrients, berries, different types of fruit, vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, things like that you consume and you feel good with. Now, if there's particular foods that you consume, like let's say you eat broccoli and you get a lot of gas and bloating, then I would avoid broccoli if you're not doing well with that. And so if there's anything, even if it's a healthy food, but you don't feel good with it, you eat eggs, you feel bloated, then I would avoid that. So I would really try to pay attention over the next week or two, how your body responds to the various foods you put in, and reduce the foods that you just don't feel as good, you feel more inflamed with. So that way you are more isolating different foods that your body's not responding to. And that's going to help you, because the less stress you put on your digestive system by consuming foods that you're sensitive to or have an intolerance to, the more energy, less stress, the more energy you're going to have for healing and repairing and fat burning. So that's key. Now, you also want to do regular exercise. I would go out and I would make sure I'm doing some level of light movement or cardio in the morning, maybe take a walk, go for a walk, or if you've got, if the weather's not good, doesn't call for it, maybe it's raining out, perhaps you've got something in, a treadmill or something like that, or a stationary bike. If not, you can even just do stairs. If you have stairs in your house or just kind of walk around your house, just try to get a lot of steps in, try to do a mile or so, in the morning when you wake up. That movement is going to help stimulate more fat burning. And then I would also try to make sure I'm getting strength training, some sort of resistance training in 3 to 5 days a week. So I want to work out really more days than I don't. So roughly, let's say 3-4 days a week, getting a really good workout, maybe even 5 days a week, doing strength training. And so you may need a gym, or you may have some free weights around the house, but I want to do upper body one day, lower body the next. So upper body is going to be push-pull exercises. So push-ups followed by bent over rows, for example, which is like basically the opposite of a push-up. And so that way you're working opposite muscle groups and you're doing supersets with very short rest in between sets. That's going to stimulate more fat burning, more lean body tissue development. Lower body is probably the most important muscle groups that you're working for fat burning. So squats, deadlifts, lunges, those are really great exercises for stimulating a lot of muscle tissue and stimulating more growth hormone release, more fat burning. So making sure we're doing legs. In fact, I would recommend doing legs, doing some sort of strength training for legs at least 2 days a week, maybe 3 days. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, leg days. You're doing squats, it doesn't have to be long workouts, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, somewhere in that range. Squats, lunges, deadlifts, things like that. Make sure you're recovered. You might have a little bit of soreness the next day. By the, second day, you should have minimal soreness. So that way you're going right back to it. So in the beginning, you might need a little bit more rest days, maybe 3 days in between. So you might start with 2 days a week. And then as your body gets more conditioned and more fit, you can incorporate another leg workout in. So that way you're doing it like 3 days a week. Upper body, twice a week, ideally. So if you're able to do something like that, that's going to really, really help you with toning your muscle and helping burn fat for fuel. So that's key. Making sure you're really dialing in your circadian rhythm. So that means going to bed at a good time. Every hour of sleep before midnight is equivalent to 3 hours of the regenerative capacity of sleep after midnight. You release a lot more growth hormone and a lot more melatonin early in the evening. And so, roughly by going to bed, for example, by let's say 10 o'clock, you're going to get a lot more growth hormone, a lot more melatonin release. That's going to help strengthen your mitochondria. It's going to help stimulate more fat burning. It's going to help stimulate more lean body tissue development, so more muscle tissue and bone. And that's going to help with the fat burning. So really trying to get to bed at a good time. And after dark, dim all the lights in your house. Make sure you've got blue light blocking glasses on. So if you're on a device, you're watching something on TV, you are not getting a lot of blue light stimulation. That throws off your melatonin, throws off your circadian rhythm. So super important to make sure that you're minimizing blue light exposure after dark. And then early in the day, trying to get some sort of bright light exposure, ideally outside, even if it's overcast, getting outside. That's why I like that walk earlier in the day. That helps set your circadian rhythm. It tells your brain, okay, well, it's wake up time. So I need to release more stress hormones, more cortisol, which is a fat burning hormone, and more adrenaline. And that's good that you need a release of that early in the day. It gives you a lot of wakefulness, helps you with mental clarity, with cognitive acceleration, ability to think sharply and quickly. And then also it helps with fat burning and setting your circadian rhythm. So that way you're in the evening, you're ready for a really great sleep. You want to really prioritize good sleep, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, trying to get, you can track your deep sleep and your REM sleep. So trying to get like roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours of each of those of deep and REM sleep overnight. That's going to help set you up for great fat burning, great metabolic health as a whole. So those are all keys. And then some other helpful things can be doing a little bit of cold in your shower. So when you take a shower, finish it with, let's say 60 to 90 seconds of cold. And it's a shock on your system. I typically will flex my muscles, kind of pump my muscles back and forth, which gets more blood flow going. That's going to release cold shock proteins. It's going to help stimulate brown fat, which is metabolically active fat. And so you can turn some of your beige fat, which is less metabolically active. It's kind of in between fat. It's not visceral fat, which is the real dangerous fat, but it can turn into visceral fat, the beige fat, if we don't stimulate it. And so this really stimulates that beige fat, can turn it to brown fat, which is more metabolically active. The more brown fat you have, the less chance of metabolic disease, the better fat burning you have, less inflammation in your system. So that cold shower, it also really is energizing. So it's great, especially early in the day. If you're taking a shower at night, you got to kind of have to watch it. Some people sleep great after doing this. Some people don't. Some people, it overstimulates them. So kind of have to be careful there. I would start this when you're doing showers earlier in the day, to get that, again, that cold release. That would be phenomenal for you. And then if you have like access to some sort of sauna, could be a steam sauna, ideally infrared sauna in your home, using that 3-4 days a week, and getting 20 to 30 minutes of really good deep sweat with the infrared sauna. The infrared sauna will help mobilize fatty acids, will help you release toxins. The sweating obviously is one way that you pull toxicity out, obviously making sure you're well hydrated. That's great. And that will really help you. So I think those are all really good ideas. And then, when you start your day, I always recommend starting your day with some warm lemon water or like a good herbal tea. Like there's one called Everyday Detox or a ginger tea or something like that, licorice root tea, a lot of different types that are out there. Some sort of a good detox organic tea, utilizing that, drinking that can be super helpful. There's a great company, Peak Tea, that we work with. They've got a whole bunch of different great fasting teas that are phenomenal for helping stimulate fat burning. And so I would start my day with herbal tea and then or warm lemon water. And then also if you tolerate it well, if you do well, a good quality coffee. I like Life Boost coffee. You can find information on that on my website, drdavidjockers.com. But a good coffee will stimulate autophagy and stimulate fat burning as long as you respond well to it. There are I would say probably 25% of the population that does really poorly with coffee and that overstimulates them. They don't metabolize the caffeine well. They don't feel good. So if that's you, then avoid it, right? Just do the herbal teas. If not, you do well with coffee, great. Drink some black coffee, and that will help with fat burning in general. So these would be some strategies, baseline strategies that I would do and really focus in on. And I think that's going to really help you with losing 10 pounds over the next 60 days. You absolutely can do it. I've seen a lot of people lose body fat. I mean, lose 5% body fat in a course of 2 months. That's definitely something that's possible if you set yourself up for success, set up the right plan, kind of like I just talked about. So great question, Mary. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys.